Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Barnes County Achievement Days Family Orientation. Before we begin, I want to introduce ourselves. On the left side of this screen is Deb. I'm in the center, and my name is Sue. And on the right side of the screen is Alicia. If you have any questions during Achievement Days, please just stop us and ask your questions. We're also at the registration desk. The goal today is to familiarize you with the procedures, expectations, and evaluation criteria for our Achievement Days held in the South Exhibit Building at the Winter Show Event Center on Monday, July 8th, beginning at 4 o'clock. The doors are going to open at 3:15, and at 4 o'clock, we're going to start with the pledges and a short welcome. If you have a lot of exhibits, please come by 4 to get started judging right away. In the big picture, North Dakota has 10 large project areas or areas of interest. There's a hierarchy within the project areas. Let's take animal science, for example. Under this large heading called the project area, there are many projects that youth can select to learn about during the year. Examples include horse, goats, and dogs. When you enrolled in 4-H at the beginning of the year, you signed up for a project underneath a larger project area. The project is to be a year-long study. The next layer is the exhibit, which you are going to have judged on Monday. This exhibit showcases what you have studied and learned about throughout the year. In the case of animal science, the exhibit may be a poster about dog breeds from the dog project from the animal science project area. So on Monday, come to the registration table and pick up your exhibit tags if you haven't come to the office prior to Achievement Days. The exhibit tag has your name as well as the description of your exhibit, just so we know who the exhibit belongs to. You can use the staging area as a place to attach your exhibit tags. I suggest you bring string, tape, paper clips, or safety pins to attach the cards to the exhibit. You can bring up to 2 exhibits to be judged at a time. Exhibits that earn a blue ribbon will be allowed to go up to the state fair. The judge will ask you if you plan to send the exhibit. Check prior with the adult person who is taking care of you whether or not the exhibit will be going to the state fair. Remember that baked items and produce can and probably should be rebaked or repicked and brought to Ina Thompson's house before noon on Monday, July 15th. Don't forget to attach the exhibit tag to your rebaked or repicked item or they won't know that it's yours at the state fair. Red and white ribbons are not allowed to go to the state fair. Now, this year we decided that we would put a blue, red, or white sticker on the exhibit tag instead of a ribbon. Often the ribbons which were taped on covered up your good work. After the interview, the judge will ask you if you want your ribbon. If you do, they'll hand it to you and you can hand it over to your caregiver for safekeeping. Now, if the exhibit is a blue and the judge decides that it's in contention for a grand or reserve ribbon, he or she will keep the exhibit for a bit. Otherwise, the judge will have you put it on the display table. Next, you start over. Go and get another exhibit or 2 and find a judging table with the shortest line to get interviewed again. Exhibiting at Achievement Days has traditionally been a very important part of a 4-H'ers project learning experience. Judges are part of the team that plays a key role in the 4-H'ers learning process during the year. And judges have a responsibility to evaluate, educate, as well as encourage 4-H'ers. Let's take a minute to learn about what they expect from us. In evaluating exhibits, you are going to be judged in 3 categories. The categories are presentation and appearance, technical skills and craftsmanship, and interview and the learning involved. For presentation and appearance, the judge is going to look at how neat and attractive the exhibit is. For technical skills and craftsmanship, if the exhibit is an actual product like a ceramic bowl, they're going to look at the construction. They're going to look at your materials. They're going to look at if the item was appropriately finished. If the exhibit shares an idea, let's say it's a poster board, they're going to look for accurate information. They're going to look to see if your sources were cited, if it was organized, original, if you clearly communicated your message. And finally, in the interview and what was learning involved. They're going to be looking for your decision-making process, how problems were solved, were new skills developed, but they're also going to be looking at your interview skills. Do you have eye contact? Can you clearly communicate your message verbally? Um, are you well versed in what you learned? And can you really tell them exactly how you made the product? A standard is a measure of quality. The exhibit is being judged against standards and not judged against other participants or exhibits. How does a judge decide if the exhibit compares to the standards? You're going to meet one-on-one with a judge to visit with them about the skills you used to learn to make the exhibit and most importantly, what you learned. The judge may ask you, what did you plan to learn or do? What steps did you take to learn or to do this? And what were the most important things that you learned? During the interview, the judge is going to use two sheets, a sheet with standards for your exhibit and a scorecard. On the left of your screen is the sheet with standards for appearance and craftsmanship. The photo on the right is the scorecard. The judge is going to have both sheets at his or her table. Let's take a closer look at both. Here's the standard sheets for cake decorating. Notice the two categories, presentation and appearance in yellow, and technical skills and craftsmanship in blue. The judge is going to be looking at your cake board. Is it firm and attractive? Is your cake well constructed? Is it neatly assembled? Under craftsmanship, the judge is going to be looking for your principles of art and if they were applied. How did you use your tips? Did you show proper control, pressure, and technique? Was your frosting evenly applied and neatly applied? How many different techniques did you use? Did you pay attention to detail? Was the border suitable and spaced evenly? Was the design in proportion to the cake? And finally, did you follow the guidelines from the State Fair book? Make sure you refer to the State Fair book to see if the area in which you're exhibiting has guidelines such as attaching a note card or a pattern. Here's the scorecard. There are two parts. Part one coincides with the standards sheet related to the exhibit. The yellow and blue lines on the scorecard are judging the appearance and the craftsmanship. Part two is for your score related to the interview and the learning involved. The judge will ask you questions such as, tell me more about your exhibit or tell me what you learned. They may ask you the variety of beans, the species of insects, or even why baking soda is needed in your cookies. They may ask you what you would do differently or what your goals are for next year. They're also going to be paying attention to your interview skills. Do you have eye contact? Are you clearly communicating? And then finally, they're going to offer suggestions as well. Once they've evaluated the appearance and craftsmanship of your exhibit along with your interview, they will tell you the ribbon placing, blue, red, or white. Blue means excellent. It's above average work and that minor faults can be easily corrected. Red means good. The exhibit is average work and both major and minor faults have occurred. White means fair. Many improvements are needed and several major faults have occurred. Now, if your exhibit received a blue ribbon, the judge will ask you, do you want this to go to the state fair? Then they'll place a colored sticker on the bottom of the exhibit tag which matches your ribbon placing and ask you if you want to take your ribbon with you. Again, if it's a blue, they may hold back your exhibit if it's in the running for a grand or reserve. If the judge gives you back your exhibit, place it on a table in the center of the display area. For foods, the judge will put a small amount on a plate and give you back the remainder of your cake or cookies. You get to have a snack later. Remember that a red and white ribbon are just as valuable as a blue. In fact, red and white give you more of an opportunity to learn next year. I know my kids learn more from red and white ribbons than from their blue ribbons. Just be proud of the fact that you're here when a lot of other kids are too scared to try to do what you're doing. Now, after all the interviews are done, the judges will determine the Grand and Reserve Champion ribbons for each division. These ribbons are the best of the blues and at this point are judged against other exhibits. The Grand and Reserve exhibits will be placed on a table for you to view later. Absentee exhibits are eligible to receive a Grand or Reserve ribbon, but they are not allowed to go through the premium sale. Now, if you received a Grand or Reserve ribbon, you can take the exhibit through the premium sale on Thursday Eve. You must fill out a premium sale card found at the registration desk as soon as you know which item or items you're going to bring through the sale. The very last deadline to fill out the cards is noon on Thursday, but please fill it out as soon as possible so that we can start getting that program typed up. Medals. They are the best of the grand champions in the overall project area. The medal winners will be announced at the premium sale. Finally, let's talk about the premium supper and sale held on Thursday, July 11th. At 5 o'clock, our supper will start. At 5:30, we're going to do contest awards for Consumer Decision Making Project Expo and Clothing Review, as well as the presentation of the project area medals. At 6:30, we have a premium sale. If you haven't already, please take a moment to personally invite businesses from the community to attend to financially support you. 4-H dress code is required. You may bring your animals through the sale. After the sale, all exhibits not going to the state fair can be brought home. Leave those going to the state fair on the exhibit tables with their exhibit tags attached. If you plan to rebake or repick produce, just stop by the registration desk to let us know. And then after the sale, we really appreciate help picking up tables and chairs. Finally, thank you. Thank you for your time, your contribution to the 4-H program, and please enjoy the experience and the opportunity to continue your growth and journey in 4-H.